Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another episode of what is the Arsenal Transfer Show. Joining you every morning at 8 a.m. UK time. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Thank you as always for making us a part of your morning routines. It is very much appreciated. I'm talking a little faster than usual because we've got a lot to get through in a very short space of time. It is Monday and I am going into the office this morning at football.london. So I will be doing a whistle-stop tour of the news. I'll be tackling some questions for probably about 5 minutes. And then we're going to hop out of here and make sure we get our train on time. So good morning to those joining us live in the chat box. Good morning to Gooner Jake, to Matt. Good morning to Mr. E. Good morning to Wayne, to Peter, Temmie, Stevie, Darren. Good morning to you guys. Divesh, Popeye, Johnny, Temmie, Steve, Penny Ween, and plenty more. Matt G, I see as well. It's Penny Ween's birthday tomorrow, apparently. We'll make sure we celebrate that accordingly. But good morning to everybody. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. Without further ado, let's crack on with today's stories. As Gunner Blog would like to say, as James would say, let's do this. Kieran Tierney was asked about his future and was asked about kind of where he sees himself. He said, it's not really up to me. I've not had any discussions with the manager and I'm just working hard every day and trying to do as well as I can. I didn't miss a single game because of injury last season. I was available for every match and always ready when called upon. I think everyone would agree that I never give less than 100% whether I'm playing or not. You can't play every single game every year, and I don't expect that. But I still made a lot of appearances last season coming off the bench, whether that was to see games out or to help get a goal. And I did all I could to help. And obviously this is positive news from Tierney. It shows the guy's mentality. It shows the difference between him and perhaps other players in the squad that aren't willing to give 110% if indeed their game time is not guaranteed. But Kieran Tierney, and from the perspective of him, I think it's a really good answer and a really good position to put ourselves into. Emile Smith Rowe has opened up about the difficult year in which he suffered as well. He says, I'm feeling good. It's good to be back with the boys, back on the pitch and with my teammates. My ambition is to get some more minutes this season and really push on. Last year was really hard for me, so I just want to kick on now and prove that I can play for this club. It was really tough because I had surgery twice, so it was really hard, but my family, friends, and the club helped me get through it. I'm really happy to be pain-free now and get fit. This was my first time having surgery, so it was a really hard decision to take, but I went for it. I'm happy that I don't feel anything anymore, and I'm really happy to be fully fit now. I'm at a big club at Arsenal. If I didn't have competition, there would be no points. I have to push myself every day in training, keep working hard. It's tough competition, but it's good at the same time. I need to keep working hard and believing in myself. We're very ambitious. We want to win trophies. We're back in the Champions League, which is good for the club. So really ambitious for us, and I want to push on now. There's definitely a lot of confidence growing in the new season. We're a young team as well, so to get that far last season was really good from us, but of course we want to win trophies, so we are going to definitely try and be stronger this year and take it a step further. We will indeed see whether Smith Rowe is the guy to take Arsenal forwards. I think that he's got a big season ahead of him, a really defining season in his career, and I'm very hopeful and optimistic that he will be that player. So very much looking forward to seeing him in the near future. Inter Milan, according to various Italian outlets, now are said to be preparing a 30 million euro plus 5 million euro bid for following Balogun. I'd be surprised if this was accepted, and I really hope that it's not. I hope that Arsenal stay strong in their view of Balogun and hope to get a significantly better fee. I'd like to see upwards of £40 million be the figure that ultimately is what gets the deal done, and is close to that 50 million valuation that Arsenal supposedly have. I did predict in the past that I thought we might get close to £35 million. This bid is £35 million. So if it's rejected, I'll happily hold my hands up and hope that we get a little bit more than that. But a 40 plus 5 million euro bid, I think may be enough potentially to get it done. We'll have to wait and see. I just hope they steadfast on their valuation of Balogun, who we could yet see play on Thursday. Arsenal, of course, are supposed to be playing Barcelona, and there are continuous dialogues going on between the two clubs to make sure that that friendly can go ahead. Barcelona had to cancel their friendly against Juventus because of illness, but hopefully there is optimism that that game will indeed still go ahead on Thursday. United are sent to want Axel Disasi, but both Arsenal and Chelsea are said to have an interest in him. That's according to Alan Nixon in The Sun, who reports that Arsenal have an interest in the Monaco defender. Now, Disasi played almost exclusively at centre-half, right centre-half last season for Monaco, but did play a couple of games at right-back, making him certainly into that mould of a right-sided defender that Arsenal and Arteta specifically likes. I don't think this makes all that much sense. However, considering the fact that Arsenal brought in Yuri Timber, they've got Ben White, they've got William Saliba, we've got Tomiyasu. I don't think we need Axel Disasi, to be honest, in the team. So this link seems spurious, and I think just one that maybe Arsenal have had on a list of players that they appreciate for some time. I do not expect Arsenal to go in for Axel Disasi. Never say never, of course, but I would be very surprised to see Arsenal going for Disasi, only maybe if they lost like a Tomiyasu or somebody like that. Will I see a deal for Disasi maybe going ahead? But Man United are certainly leading the race in this regard. And our headline story today, Mohammed Kudus, of course, has been linked with the club for quite some time. Arsenal and Chelsea are said to be the two teams that are very interested in him. David Ornstein reporting that Chelsea were yesterday close to agreeing personal terms with the player. However, reports yesterday afternoon/evening suggested that Chelsea may indeed instead, or maybe as well as, move for Michael Olise from Crystal Palace. Now, Team News and Ticks, of course, a fantastically well-informed account on the socials, has tweeted out a number of kind of big dropping and breaking stories across the Arsenal transfer fear this summer. And talking about the Olise story in response to the Kudus thing, the account said, I have no idea if this Olise story is true, but wonder if this could have happened because Kudus has been speaking to someone else for months and months now. Now, they don't name, of course, who that somebody else is, but I think we know that the interest from Arsenal is significant enough that we can probably put 2 and 2 together to get 4 and think that it indeed is a hint towards it being Arsenal. But there is a quote tweet from Team News and Ticks that does say, I don't know if we being the keyword, will get him, but dialogue has been happening for a long time. We being Arsenal. So if you needed any confirmation that Arsenal were the team that the account was talking about, it's right there. So there you go. As I say, very well connected and well sourced outlet and account for Arsenal transfer news. So let's see if anything changes in the world of Arsenal transfers surrounding Mohammed Kudus with this latest revelation on Michael Olise. Right, let's move to part 2 and your questions right after this. Tickets are indeed still available. You can go and grab them down in the link in the description to join myself, Harry Simu, Mike Feinberg, Bailey Keogh, and FK on the 13th of August. In the evening on the Sunday, the day after the first game of the Premier League season against Nottingham Forest. Thank you to those that are continuing to snap them up and continue to add to what is going to be a fantastic evening. I can't wait to meet and speak to so many of you. I can't wait to show you our show. I'm hoping it's going to be a fantastic kind of episode that we are planning to record, by the way, and release at a later date for those that are based, of course, around the world and can't attend. So I'm really looking forward to seeing as many of you as feasibly possible. Right then, let's go into the chat box. I've got about 5 minutes before we need to wrap things up. So let's not waste any time and tackle these in quick fire fashion. Lynn says, Tom, I do think that we are going to be patient with Declan Rice and Timber and Kai, as at the moment our midfield looks weaker. And in my opinion, we are missing Xhaka big time. We are, Lynn, going to be patient. We are going to be a little bit kind of taking a step back. Let's see how it devolves and progresses. Arteta said, you know, these guys might take 55 games. We haven't got 55 games. We've got about 3. So we need to make sure that we're giving them best opportunities, but we need to also be flexible enough to admit when we need to make some changes. And I'd quite like to see Partey and Rice play together to give that kind of solid base for certain fixtures. And I'd like to see that actually on Thursday against Barcelona. But we are missing Xhaka at the moment, yes. Thank you, Craig, so much for the donation. TC, greetings from LA, third and final leg of the American tour. Hope you're well, my friends. I hope you're having a fantastic time, as I do everybody that is out in the States. I hope you're having a fantastic time on the tour. I know how passionate fans can be out in the US, having met so many of them on the Chicago trip we did earlier in this year. It was amazing, and I do very much hope that you're having an amazing time, everybody, Craig, yourself, and everybody else also. K. Way says, Tom, what are your thoughts on the new ballot ticketing system? I've read a lot of conflicting opinions on Twitter recently. On Twitter? Conflicting opinions? Surely not. My opinions are that I think it's a step in the right direction. I think that it's a way in which it makes it fairer and more accessible in regards to the process of getting tickets, rather than people waiting around on kind of systems in which they were to wait until like 8:30 till like 10:30 in the morning and then have to grab tickets. in that sense, it's an improvement. But there's also good arguments I get from people that say that they've been getting tickets without a problem because of their membership for years, and now because it's done at random, they aren't. And I can understand their frustrations. I personally have the view that no matter how long you've been going to Arsenal for games, outside of season ticket holders who have had those tickets, obviously, and invested in those for quite some time, I just think membership-wise, those types of tickets, you know, everyone who has a membership should be equally as entitled to somebody who else has had a membership for a certain period of time. If you've got a season ticket, you've got a season ticket. But outside of that, I personally think that everybody going into that ballot system should have an equal opportunity. Anyone who decides to buy a membership for that season, be it your first, your fifth, your 10th, your 20th, whatever, should have the same level of chance of getting a ticket, in my opinion. Mero says, what do you think about a striker up front? Balogun and Nketiah just seem not good enough going forwards. Balogun, I think, is who I would keep out of the two, but I don't see the options in the summer transfer window to go and grab a striker this summer, sadly. Clock Orange says, does the result of Man United concern you? If we lose to Barcelona, is it crisis mode at Arsenal? It's pre-season, so no, let's behave ourselves. There's no crises in pre-season. It's the performance, it's the learning curves. That's what we need to focus on. Man City went on to win their game against, I think it was a Japanese side last night, but they went 2-0 down, you know, and they weren't panicking that much. So, no, it's not time to panic whatsoever at this moment. Maggie says, Tom, I know you haven't got long, so I'll keep it short. What is the meaning of life? Arsenal, mate. And the missus, obviously. Heikki says, when I see Odegaard and Havertz as the two attacking midfield options, it gives me Vieira and Odegaard type vibes from last season. Two attacking and not defensive enough. And I think that will be remedied by Rice and Partey, whoever plays, and the defensive structure. We need to learn how to deal with that. I think it only gets used and should only get used in certain games. I think in other games, like against Liverpool, City, we should be more defensive-minded, have Partey and Rice, things like that. So that's the way I think it needs to be moving forwards. Paul says, will Koji Dubry get any minutes on the tour? If not, what was the point in taking him? The point in taking him was to get plenty of experience, the same reason we take some youngsters into the senior setups for games away from home. It was my understanding that, you know, we'd see a lot of him on the tour, you know, training, getting exposure, things like that. But there's just not been the opportunity really to give him those minutes at the moment, because it's important to make sure that structurally and those relationships are being built. Maybe if we'd have gone like, I don't know, against Barcelona or Man United, a series of goals up, maybe he would get a chance then. But so far, no wins, sadly, at the moment. Paul says, the ticket allocation for the Ashburton Army has been halved. Will this impact the atmosphere? Hopefully not. Hopefully they've had a significant impact on the atmosphere in the ground, that it continues onwards. But I haven't really I haven't learned enough about the Ashburton Army's situation and that ticketing system to know if that's A, even true, or B, what the impact will be, or see if it's fair. So I'd need to do a little bit more reading into that one to comment on it. Mike says, if Kudus ends up being a no-go, who would be your next pick? If no one you're happy with is on the window, as long as no one else is significant leaves as well. The right wing position is a tough one. I'd like to see someone like Pedro Gonçalves, you know, come in, but I think that's quite an investment to bring in somebody of that level for someone who's going to be in competition with somebody else. It's a tough one. Off the top of my head, Mike, I'm going to have to do some research into some other right wingers, but maybe Jeremy Doku from Rennes. That might not be too bad of an option to bring in. Really talented young Belgian winger from Rennes. Maybe that's someone that could come in and play in competition with Saka, potentially him. Chris says, Tom, the Kai Havertz experiment at the 8 role might not work. He hasn't played there in years. And in a crucial season like this, I won't play him there. Let's get someone else. I think that, again, I'm going to reserve judgment until we've seen it in more opportunities. Obviously, we've seen Trossard play there and do quite well. We know that we need to evolve the midfield. The midfield needs to go to the next level, and it doesn't happen with an immediate impact. So let's wait and see how indeed it ends up in the long run. Right, I said it was going to be a quick one. Unfortunately, I have to go get a train now, so I'm going to have to love you and leave you. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It means the absolute world. I'll be back tonight, I'm hoping, with a show, potentially over on Sophie's channel, The Highbury Squad. So it's been an absolute pleasure, as it always is. Do make sure you drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here with those notifications turned on. Have a fantastic start to your week. Stay safe, stay well, and as always, up the Arsenal.